Imagine waking up every day with the confidence that no one will ever disrespect you. It's not a fantasy or wishful thinking. It's something you can make happen. Respect isn't just handed out. It's something you build over time through your actions, your mindset, and how you show up every single day. When you start living with integrity, consistency, and a true sense of self-worth, the respect you've been craving will come naturally. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to earn that respect, how to command it without saying a word, and how to make sure that no one ever looks down on you again. Stick around because what we're going to talk about today can change the way people treat you forever. Let's dive in and take control of how you're seen by the world. Number 1, fix your body language. People judge you before you even say a word. That's just the way it is. You walk into a room, and within seconds, they've made up their minds about you. They don't know your name. They don't know your skills. They don't know what you're capable of. But they already have an opinion. And let me tell you, most of that opinion comes from one thing: the way you carry yourself, your body language, how you stand, how you walk, how you look at people. This is the first battle for respect. And if you lose it, people will treat you as less than you are. They will overlook you, ignore you, and worst of all, they will disrespect you without hesitation. But here's the good news. This is something you can fix instantly. If you've ever wondered why people don't take you seriously, why they interrupt you, why they talk down to you, why they treat you like you're invisible, look at your posture. Look at how you present yourself. Because I'll tell you something, when you walk into a room with the right body language, you don't even need to say a word. People will feel your presence. They will know that you are not someone to be ignored. They will know that you are someone who respects themselves. And because of that, they will respect you too. So let's talk about how to fix it. Because I want you to walk into any room, any situation, any conversation, and be treated with respect. No more feeling small. No more letting people walk all over you. From today, we change that. The first thing you need to understand is this: the way you stand and the way you walk tells people everything about you. You see weak posture, slouched shoulders, looking down. It screams insecurity. It tells people, I'm not sure of myself. I don't know if I belong here. And if you don't believe you belong, why should anyone else? Why should anyone take you seriously? That's why so many people struggle with being overlooked. Because before they even get a chance to prove themselves, their body language has already told the world, I am not important, and that needs to stop. You want respect? Then stand like someone who deserves it. Walk like someone who knows they matter. Keep your shoulders back. Keep your chin up. When you enter a room, don't look down at your phone. Don't hunch over. Don't shrink yourself. Take up space. Move with confidence. When you walk, don't drag your feet. Walk with purpose. Walk like you know where you're going. Because guess what? People notice. They notice who walks in with energy and confidence. They notice who looks like they're in control. And they also notice who looks like they'd rather disappear. And eye contact. This is where most people fail. You can have the best posture in the world, but if you can't look someone in the eye, you will lose their respect in an instant. Think about it. Have you ever spoken to someone who couldn't hold eye contact? They looked around the room. They looked at the floor. They looked everywhere except at you. What did that make you think? That they weren't confident, that they were hiding something, that they weren't worth listening to. And that's exactly what people will think of you if you don't fix this. Eye contact is not just about seeing someone. It's about showing presence. It's about saying, I am here. I am engaged. I am in control. If you can master this, people will listen to you differently. They will respect you without you even having to ask for it. Now let's talk about the little habits that destroy respect. Fidgeting, nervous movements, constantly adjusting your clothes, touching your face, crossing and uncrossing your arms. These things tell people, I am not comfortable with myself. And if you're not comfortable with yourself, why should anyone else be? Watch powerful people when they speak. They don't fidget. They don't squirm. They stay still. They control their movements. They use their hands with purpose. This is what commands respect. And here's something most people don't think about: how you react when someone challenges you. If someone says something to test you, to intimidate you, or to disrespect you, how do you respond? Do you shrink? Do you look down? Do you laugh nervously? Because if you do, they know they've won. But if you stay still, if you hold eye contact, if you don't flinch, now you've earned respect. Now they know you are not someone to be messed with. Let's get one thing clear. This is not about being aggressive. This is not about trying to dominate people. This is about showing the world that you respect yourself, that you value yourself. And when you do that, the world will follow. And some of you might be thinking, but Jim, I don't feel confident. I don't feel like someone people should respect. And I get it. But let me tell you something. Confidence is not a feeling. Confidence is a choice. And that choice starts with how you present yourself. You don't need to feel like the most powerful person in the room. You just need to look like someone who believes in themselves. Because when you act confident, something incredible happens. People start treating you like you are. And the more they treat you with respect, the more you start believing in yourself. It's a cycle, but it starts with you. So starting today, I want you to walk differently. I want you to stand differently. I want you to carry yourself like someone who commands respect. No more slouching. No more looking down. No more fidgeting. Walk into every room like you belong. Stand in every conversation like you are worthy of being there. And I promise you, people will notice. They will treat you differently. They will respect you. Because respect doesn't start with them. It starts with you. And when you fix your body language, something powerful happens. People don't just see you differently. You start seeing yourself differently. You start feeling different. You start believing in yourself more. And that, my friends, is the key to making sure that no one ever disrespects you again. Number 2, speak less, say more. Let me tell you something important today. Powerful people don't beg for attention. They don't talk just to fill space. They don't waste words trying to prove themselves. And they don't seek validation from others. When they speak, people listen. When they enter a room, they don't need to be the loudest. They don't need to show off. Their presence alone demands respect. Now ask yourself this. When you speak, do people stop and pay attention? Or do they brush you off, interrupt you, or ignore you completely? If it's the latter, then today, we're going to fix that. Because from this moment forward, you will no longer be overlooked. You will no longer be talked over. You will no longer waste words trying to impress people. You're going to learn how to speak less and say more. And when you do, you will command respect like never before. Most people make the mistake of thinking that talking more makes them more important. That if they keep explaining, if they keep trying to prove themselves, eventually, people will take them seriously. But that's not how it works. In fact, the opposite is true. The more you talk, the more you devalue your words. Think about it. Have you ever been around someone who just keeps talking and talking without ever really saying anything? What do? You tune them out. You stop listening. Their words lose meaning because there are too many of them. And let me tell you, if you are the kind of person who over-explains, who always feels the need to justify themselves, who talks just to fill silence, you are losing respect every time you open your mouth. Now look at the most powerful people you know, the ones who don't chase attention, but get it anyway. The ones who walk into a room, and without saying much, people already respect them. What do they have in common? They don't talk unless they have something worth saying. And when they do speak, every word has weight. There is no excess, no rambling, no nervous filler words, just confidence, certainty, and directness. That's the power of speaking less and saying more. So how do you do it? How do you go from being someone who talks too much and gets ignored to being someone who speaks with power and is respected? The first step is simple. Slow down. Most people talk fast because they're afraid of silence. They think if they pause, people will lose interest. But the truth is, silence is one of the most powerful tools you have. When you pause, when you take your time, people lean in, they focus, they wait for what you're going to say next. That's power. That's control. So stop rushing. Stop feeling the need to fill every gap with words. Instead, take a breath. Speak with purpose. Let your words land before moving on, and watch how differently people respond to you. The second step is to remove unnecessary words. Most people weaken their own message without realizing it. They say things like, I think maybe I just wanted to say, does that make sense? These words make you sound unsure. They make you sound like you're asking for permission to speak instead of owning what you're saying. If you want respect, get rid of them. Instead of saying, I think this is a good idea, say this is a good idea. Instead of saying, maybe we should try this, say we should try this. Instead of saying, I just wanted to say what you need to say, and stop there. See the difference? It's subtle but powerful. The third step is to listen more than you speak. Most people don't listen. They're just waiting for their turn to talk. And let me tell you, when people sense that you're not really listening, they stop respecting you, because respect is a two-way street. If you want people to respect your words, you need to respect theirs. And the best way to do that is by truly listening. Not just hearing, but understanding. Not just waiting for your turn, but being fully present. And when you do speak, respond in a way that adds value, not just noise. And finally, the most important step, speak with confidence. You don't need to be the loudest person in the room to be the most powerful. You don't need to dominate conversations to be respected. All you need is certainty in your words, confidence in your voice. When you speak, say what you mean, and mean what you say. Don't seek approval. Don't look around the room to see if people agree. Speak as if your words matter, because they do. And when you do this, people will feel it, they will respect it, and they will start treating you differently. Now I want you to think about this. Starting today, how will you speak differently? Will you keep wasting words, hoping people take you seriously? Or will you speak with intention, with clarity, with power? Will you let your presence speak for itself? Because the moment you do, the moment you stop over-explaining, stop talking just to be heard, stop chasing attention, the moment you start speaking with purpose and precision, you will see a shift. People will pay attention. They will listen. They will respect you. And that is how you make sure no one ever disrespects you again. Number 3, walk away from disrespect. Every moment in life when you realize that arguing with fools, trying to prove your worth to those who don't respect you, or constantly fighting for validation is a complete waste of your energy. The strong don't argue. The powerful don't beg to be heard. The wise don't lower themselves to the level of those who throw insults and disrespect. Instead, they do something much more powerful. They walk away. They remove themselves from situations that drain them. They refuse to engage in battles that don't serve them. And because of that, they hold the ultimate power. Think about the times you've argued with someone who had no real interest in understanding you. Maybe it was a coworker, a so-called friend, or even a family member. You spent all that time trying to prove your point, trying to gain their respect, trying to make them see your value. And in the end, what did it do? Did they suddenly change their mind? Did they suddenly start treating you better? No. Instead, you felt drained. You felt frustrated. And worst of all, you gave them exactly what they wanted. Your energy, your attention, your reaction. But from this moment forward, you will no longer waste your breath. You will no longer fight battles that don't matter. Because strong people don't argue with those who disrespect them. They walk away. And in doing so, they win. Now, some people think that walking away is weak, that if you don't stand there and defend yourself, you're letting people walk all over you. But let me tell you, it's the complete opposite. The weak fight for attention. The weak chase validation. The weak waste time arguing, debating, and explaining themselves to people who have already made up their minds. But the strong know their worth. They know that respect is not demanded. It is commanded through presence, through action, through self-respect. And nothing, absolutely nothing, commands more respect than a person who refuses to engage in meaningless conflict. The next time someone disrespects you, I want you to pause. Don't react immediately. Don't give them the satisfaction of seeing you flustered, angry, or emotional. Just pause. Look them in the eye, and then walk away. Remove yourself from the situation completely. Because when you do, you send a message louder than any words could ever say. You tell them, I am above this. I do not waste my energy on people like you. My time is too valuable. My mind is too strong. And my life is too important to waste even a second arguing with someone who doesn't deserve my attention. And let me tell you, when you do this, people will notice. They will feel your power. They will sense that you are not someone to be played with. And suddenly, the disrespect stops. Not because you fought for it, not because you demanded it, but because you proved you are beyond it. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking that being loud, being aggressive, or proving themselves is the way to earn respect. It's not. The loudest person in the room is rarely the most respected. The person who argues the most is rarely the most powerful. True strength comes from self-control, from knowing when to speak and when to stay silent, from knowing which battles are worth fighting and which are better left alone. Because the truth is, most of the time, arguing with someone who disrespects you only lowers you to their level. It makes you look just as foolish as them. But when you walk away, you rise above it. You show that you are in control, and that is what earns respect. Think about the most powerful people in the world. Do they argue with critics? Do they waste time defending themselves against every insult, every attack, every bit of disrespect thrown their way? No, they keep moving. They stay focused. They let their success speak for itself. And that's exactly what you need to do. The next time someone disrespects you, instead of arguing, instead of defending yourself, instead of reacting emotionally, just walk away and focus on winning in life. Because at the end of the day, the best revenge, the greatest response, the most powerful move you can ever make is to succeed so greatly that those who doubted you, those who disrespected you, those who tried to bring you down, are forced to watch you rise. Now I know what some of you are thinking, but what if it's someone I have to deal with every day? What if it's my boss? What if it's a close family member? And to that I say, your peace is more important than any relationship. You don't have to argue, but you do have to set boundaries. You do have to make it clear that disrespect will not be tolerated. And sometimes that means limiting your interactions. Sometimes that means making a plan to remove yourself from toxic environments. Because let me tell you something, your energy is everything. What you allow into your life affects your mind, your focus, and your future. And if you continue to allow disrespect, if you continue to engage with people who drain you, you will never be able to rise to the level you are meant to be at. Walking away is not about running from problems. It's about choosing your battles wisely. It's about protecting your energy, your mind, and your time. It's about knowing that not everyone deserves a response. Not everyone deserves your attention, and not everyone is worth engaging with. Because the truth is, people will test you. They will push your buttons. They will try to get a reaction out of you. But when they see that you are unshakable, that you are unmoved, that you do not stoop to their level, they will stop. They will realize that you are not someone to be played with. So from this moment forward, remember this: walking away is not weakness. It is strength. It is power. It is self-respect. And the more you do it, the more you refuse to engage in meaningless conflict, the more you protect your energy, the more you will see a shift. You will see people treating you differently. You will see them respecting you more. And most importantly, you will feel stronger, more in control, and more at peace than ever before. Because the truth is, not everyone is worth your time. Not every argument is worth your breath. Not every battle is worth fighting. But your peace, your energy, your success, that is always worth protecting. So protect it. Walk away from disrespect and watch how your life changes. Number 4, stop pleasing people. Respect isn't something you beg for or chase after. It's something you command. And the key to commanding respect lies in a simple truth. Respect is earned when you first and foremost respect yourself. The moment you start honoring yourself, valuing your worth, and setting clear boundaries, you begin to automatically raise the standard for how others treat you. And when you refuse to tolerate disrespect, you send a clear message, not just to others, but to yourself. You are worthy, you are valuable, and no one has the right to treat you any less than that. The journey to self-respect is not a quick fix. It's not something that happens overnight. It's a process, a conscious decision you make every single day to stop pleasing others at the expense of your own happiness and well-being. It's about knowing your worth, even when others don't recognize it. It's about making sure your actions align with your values and not compromising just to fit in. The more you live with integrity, the more you will attract the respect you deserve. People can only treat you as poorly as you allow them to, and too many people allow disrespect into their lives because they're afraid of losing someone, whether it's a friend, a family member, or a colleague. The fear of being alone or the desire to avoid conflict often keeps people in toxic situations, accepting treatment that's far below what they deserve. But what happens when you make the bold decision to stop accepting disrespect? What happens when you raise your standards? The answer is simple. Everything changes. When you stop accepting behavior that doesn't align with your value system, you open the door to better things, better people, better opportunities, and a better quality of life. You stop wasting energy on those who don't see your worth and start focusing on those who do. You stop shrinking yourself to make others comfortable, and instead you begin to stand in your own power. And when you begin to do this, something remarkable happens. You begin to attract people who treat you the way you've always deserved to be treated. Respect is earned, not by begging or pleading, but by living in a way that commands it. It's in your actions. It's in how you carry yourself, how you set boundaries, and how you protect your peace. When you live your life unapologetically and stay true to who you are, others will see that strength, and they will either respect you for it or they'll fall away. But here's the truth. If someone disrespects you, if they treat you badly, and they don't value what you bring to the table, then it's time to let them go. Holding on to people who don't respect you only drags you down and keeps you from the people who will elevate you. There's a certain level of freedom that comes with letting go of the need to please others. When you stop making your choices based on what others think of you, when you stop bending over backward to get their approval, that's when you step into your true power. And that's when people start to take you seriously. When you show that you respect yourself, when you no longer tolerate disrespect, people will have no choice but to follow suit. This doesn't mean you need to become cold, distant, or harsh with others. It simply means you refuse to let anyone walk all over you. It means you're willing to walk away from toxic situations, from people who drain you, from environments that don't uplift you. It means you're willing to say no when you need to say no, even if it means disappointing someone else. And guess what? It's okay to disappoint people who don't respect you. Your life is your own. Your time, your energy, and your peace of mind are too valuable to waste on people who don't value them. When you start to live by that truth, you send a message to the universe. I am worthy of respect, and I will not settle for anything less. And as you start to put that message into action, the respect you've always wanted will begin to flow in. So stop chasing approval. Stop seeking validation from people who don't have your best interests at heart. Instead, focus on becoming the kind of person who respects themselves, who values their time, and who holds themselves to the highest standard. The more you live that way, the more others will follow your lead. They will either respect you or they will fade out of your life. And that's exactly what you want. Because let's be clear, the people who truly respect you will never make you beg for it. They will never take advantage of you. They will never expect you to compromise your values or your happiness just to please them. True respect is mutual. It's based on understanding, empathy, and a deep appreciation for who you are. And when you stop tolerating disrespect, you make room for that kind of respect to flow into your life. So take a moment to reflect on your life. Are you respecting yourself the way you deserve? Are you setting clear boundaries with those who treat you poorly? Are you willing to walk away from the people and situations that no longer serve you? If not, it's time to start. It's time to raise your standards. It's time to stop pleasing people and start respecting yourself. Because the moment you do that, everything changes. You change, the people around you change, and the respect you've always wanted will be there, waiting for you. Number 5, control your reactions. Imagine a moment when someone says something hurtful, dismissive, or downright disrespectful to you. Most of us naturally would feel the heat rise in our chest. Our hands might clench, and we'd want to immediately defend ourselves or react. The immediate urge is to lash out, to make them feel how they've made us feel. But here's the key: silence. The most powerful tool in that moment isn't words. It's the strength to stay calm and not let your emotions control you. It's the ability to take a breath, gather your thoughts, and choose how to respond. This isn't about being weak or passive. It's about showing restraint. Silence in this context is not a sign of defeat. It's a sign of power. When you let your emotions dictate your reactions, you give others control over how you feel. You allow them to pull you into their chaos. But when you choose to stay silent, you take control. You become the one who sets the tone of the conversation, not them. You gain the upper hand. This is one of the most important lessons you'll ever learn in life. Your reactions define you. You can't control what others say or do, but you can always control how you respond. When you hold your tongue in the face of disrespect, you send a message. You say, I will not lower myself to this level. I refuse to engage in negativity. I respect myself too much to let you pull me into your drama. It takes strength to walk away from a fight, to rise above the pettiness. But that's exactly what will demand respect. Because people respect those who don't get easily triggered, who don't let their emotions control them. Let's be real for a second. How many times have you said something in anger, only to regret it later? How many times have you gotten caught up in a back-and-forth argument with someone who didn't deserve your time or energy? The truth is, fighting fire with fire only leaves you both burned. When you engage with disrespect, when you respond to insult with insult, you're only lowering your standards. You're showing them that their behavior can affect your peace of mind. You're allowing them to push your buttons. But when you remain silent, when you walk away from the need to argue, you show that you are above it. You show that you don't need to prove anything to anyone. Now, don't confuse silence with passivity or weakness. This isn't about letting people walk all over you or becoming a doormat. It's about choosing your battles wisely. It's about understanding that not every comment or action requires a response. Some things are better left unsaid, because once you engage, you're giving the other person control over the situation. You're allowing their words to have power over your peace. Instead, hold your peace. Don't let the actions of others disturb your tranquility. People who are constantly reactive, always snapping back at every little thing, are exhausting. They're the ones who get caught up in drama, who burn bridges with their quick temper, and who let every insult turn into an all-out war. But those who know when to stay silent, who know when to choose peace over conflict, those are the ones who demand respect. Their calmness, their composure, becomes their strength. And that strength is magnetic. Here's the thing. When you don't react emotionally to someone's disrespect, you give them a chance to reflect on their behavior. They see that their words didn't affect you. They realize that you're not easily rattled. They start to respect you more because they can't control you with negativity. And that's what respect is all about. Control and power. Not in the sense of domination, but in the sense of emotional maturity. You control your emotions, and in doing so, you control the situation. The next time someone tries to disrespect you, take a step back. Breathe. Don't let them win by pulling you into a conflict. Hold your ground, but do it with silence. Let your calmness speak for itself. When you don't respond in anger, when you don't lower yourself to their level, you show strength. You show confidence. You show that you don't need to prove anything. And that, my friend, is the most powerful form of respect. When you choose to control your reactions, you stop giving others the power to dictate your emotions. You stop letting them dictate how you feel and how you behave. You take back control over your own life. And in doing so, you build a sense of self-respect that is unshakable. People will notice. They'll see that you don't get rattled by small things, that you don't let petty insults affect you. They'll see that you're someone who stands strong in your own skin. And that's what truly earns respect. So the next time you're faced with disrespect, remember this. Silence is not weakness. It's power. The ability to control your reactions, to rise above the noise, is the greatest strength you can show. When you remain calm, composed, and unshaken, you're not just protecting your peace. You're commanding the respect that you deserve. Number 6, raise your standards. When you set higher standards for yourself, everything in your life changes. You stop accepting mediocrity. You stop letting people treat you like you're just another face in the crowd. You start to demand more from yourself. And as a result, the world starts to respond to you differently. People will treat you how you allow them to treat you. If you settle for less than you deserve, they'll give you less. If you stand firm, hold yourself to higher standards, and show the world what you're really capable of, they'll rise to meet you at your level. The way people treat you, the respect they give you, is a reflection of how you see yourself. When you don't believe you're worthy of respect, you unconsciously allow others to disrespect you. But when you recognize your value, when you hold yourself to a higher standard, you send a message to the world that you're not someone to be taken lightly. People can sense confidence, they can sense strength, and they can sense when someone knows their worth. And the moment they realize that, the moment they see you won't settle for anything less than the best, they'll start treating you accordingly. Think about this for a moment. How do you treat yourself when no one's looking? What do you allow yourself to get away with when there's no one around to judge you? The truth is, the way you treat yourself in private directly impacts how others will treat you in public. If you're constantly letting yourself off the hook, constantly making excuses for why you didn't show up at your best, others will notice. They won't take you seriously. But when you hold yourself accountable, when you push yourself to do better, even when it's hard, you develop a sense of self-respect that radiates outward. People will see that you don't take shortcuts, that you don't make excuses, and they'll start to respect you for it. There's something powerful about someone who lives up to their own expectations. Someone who sets high standards for themselves and doesn't let anything or anyone distract them from their goals. When you refuse to settle for anything less than your best, you show the world that you know your worth, and in turn, the world will start to treat you the way you deserve to be treated. They'll see that you're serious, that you're focused, and that you're not willing to tolerate anything less than excellence. One of the hardest things to do in life is to set boundaries and enforce them. We often let people walk all over us because we're afraid of confrontation or because we don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. But let me tell you something. People will never respect you unless you respect yourself first. If you're constantly saying yes when you really want to say no, if you're constantly bending over backward to please others, you're teaching people that your time, your energy, and your value don't matter. But when you start saying no, when you start setting boundaries, people will take you seriously. They'll see that you know what you're worth, and that you won't tolerate anything less than what you deserve. It's important to understand that setting high standards doesn't mean being perfect. It doesn't mean you'll never make mistakes, or that you won't have setbacks along the way. What it does mean is that you hold yourself to a standard of excellence, that you give your best effort in everything you do, and that you're constantly striving to improve. It means that you recognize your potential and refuse to settle for mediocrity. And when you do that, you inspire others to do the same. You set a standard for the people around you, and you make it clear that you won't tolerate anything less than their best either. The key to raising your standards is simple. Start with yourself. Hold yourself accountable. Don't let yourself off the hook. Don't make excuses. Don't settle for anything less than your best. And when you do that, people will notice. They'll see your commitment to excellence, your dedication to growth, and your refusal to settle for less. And that's when they'll start to treat you with the respect you deserve. Because when you hold yourself to a higher standard, the world will follow suit. Number 7, become valuable. When you bring value to the table, everything changes. People can't ignore someone who consistently adds value, who makes a difference in their lives. And let me tell you something. When you become valuable, when you start offering something others can't get anywhere else, the respect you receive will follow naturally. You don't have to demand respect. You don't have to ask for it. You don't even have to beg for it. You just have to show up every single day with something valuable, something meaningful that others can benefit from, and respect will follow. Value is not something you can fake. It's not something that can be manufactured overnight. Becoming valuable takes time. It takes effort. It takes consistency. But when you put in the work, when you keep showing up and giving your best, people can't help but recognize the value you bring to the table. Whether it's your skills, your knowledge, your experience, or the way you make others feel, value is something that stands out. And when you become someone who adds value to others, not only do you gain respect, but you also build a reputation that people can't ignore. Let's be clear about something. Value doesn't always have to be about grand gestures or big accomplishments. It doesn't have to be about doing something that gets you a lot of attention or praise. Value can be in the small things, the way you show up for people, the way you listen, the way you make others feel important. It's in the actions you take every day, the effort you put into your work, and the way you choose to help others. Value is about being reliable, about being the person people can count on when they need you. And when you become someone who adds real, tangible value to the lives of others, you automatically earn their respect. But let's not sugarcoat it. Becoming valuable requires effort. It's not about sitting back and waiting for things to happen. It's about putting in the work, day in and day out. It's about pushing yourself to be better, to grow, to learn, and to continuously improve. When you focus on becoming valuable, you stop worrying about how others see you and start focusing on how you can make a positive impact in their lives. And that's when everything changes. You stop chasing respect, and you start earning it through your actions, your effort, and the value you bring. As you begin to add value to others, something incredible happens. You start to feel a sense of purpose. You stop thinking about yourself all the time, and you start thinking about how you can contribute, how you can make a difference. That shift in mindset changes everything. It changes the way you show up for others, the way you approach your work, and the way you approach life in general. And as you start bringing more value into the world, you'll notice that the respect you receive is no longer something you have to chase or demand. It will be given to you freely because people recognize the value you've brought into their lives. The key to becoming valuable is simple. You have to give. You have to show up, day in and day out, and offer something that makes the world a better place. And the more you give, the more you'll receive in return. You'll see that the respect you've always wanted will come naturally when you start focusing on becoming someone who adds value to others. People will start to notice. People will start to appreciate you. And the best part, you won't have to say a word. Your actions will speak for themselves. So if you want respect, if you want to be treated like you matter, the first step is to make yourself valuable. Focus on how you can serve others, how you can add value, how you can contribute to the world in a meaningful way. And when you do that, the respect will come. It's not about demanding it. It's not about asking for it. It's about showing up with value and letting your actions speak for themselves. People can't ignore someone who brings something meaningful to the table. And when you bring value, the respect will follow. Always. Number 8. Respect yourself in private. You know, the truth is simple. If you're not willing to lose people, you're going to keep tolerating disrespect. The moment you realize that not everyone deserves a seat at your table, that's when things start changing for you. The hardest part about growth is understanding that some people aren't going to grow with you. But here's the secret. When you let go of the people who aren't meant to be in your life, you make room for the right ones. The ones who will respect you, support you, and help you become the best version of yourself. People fear losing others because it feels like rejection. But in reality, it's not rejection, it's protection. You're protecting your time, energy, and mental space. When you're willing to walk away from the people who bring you down or drain your energy, you give yourself the chance to grow. It's in those moments of loss that you find your greatest strength. It's not about the people you're leaving behind. It's about the future you're stepping into. You see, no one ever talks about how much better your life becomes when you stop holding on to the wrong people. The moment you stop tolerating toxic relationships, you start setting standards for the kind of people you want in your life. You start looking for those who will build you up, not tear you down. The right people come into your life when you stop compromising your values to keep others around. That's when the magic happens. You don't need everyone to like you. You don't need approval from everyone around you. What you need is respect. And that respect starts with your willingness to lose people who don't add value to your life. Now, I know this isn't easy. It's not about cutting people off for no reason or being heartless. It's about understanding your worth and making choices that reflect that. Sometimes you have to make the tough decision to let go of someone you thought would be in your life forever. And yes, it's painful, but in the end, you'll realize that you were holding on to something that was preventing you from becoming who you were meant to be. Once you let go of the wrong people, you open yourself up to the right people. You open yourself up to new opportunities, new experiences, and new relationships that are more aligned with your values. In every relationship, there's a give and take. You give love, respect, and kindness. You take back support, trust, and positivity. But when one side is constantly draining the other, it's not a partnership, it's a one-way street. And let me tell you, no matter how much you care about someone, it's never worth staying in a relationship where you're being drained, disrespected, or undervalued. You're not a charity, and your energy is not something to be taken for granted. When you become willing to lose people, you stop being afraid of the discomfort that comes with letting go. You start to see it as freedom. You become more confident in your ability to make decisions that are best for your growth. The truth is, people will always try to test your boundaries. They'll try to take advantage of your kindness, your time, and your energy. But the more you respect yourself, the more you realize that those who truly respect you won't test your boundaries. They'll honor them. Letting go of people is not just about cutting them out of your life. It's about choosing yourself. It's about choosing your peace, your growth, and your happiness. Every time you allow someone to stay in your life who doesn't respect you, you're telling the universe that you don't believe you deserve better. But the moment you stand firm, let go and say, "I'm worthy of better," the universe responds. It brings in the people who are meant to be there, the ones who align with your values, your mission, and your journey. Now, some of you might be thinking, but what if I'm alone? What if I lose everyone? And that's a valid fear. But here's the thing, being alone is temporary. It's a space for growth. It's where you rediscover who you are, where you focus on becoming the best version of yourself. It's where you stop compromising your happiness to keep people around. And when the right people come into your life, you'll see that every single person you let go of was just making room for the ones who truly matter. Letting go doesn't mean burning bridges or being vengeful. It's not about making a scene or turning your back on people. It's about silently respecting yourself enough to walk away from anything or anyone that doesn't honor you. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to justify your decisions. When you start respecting your own worth, the world starts respecting you. It's not always easy, but it's always worth it. In the end, it's not about who stays or who goes. It's about the quality of the relationships you keep. The right people will love you for who you are, support your dreams, and push you to be better. They won't try to hold you back or make you feel small. They'll cheer for you, celebrate your successes, and stand by you when things get tough. And when you create space for those kinds of relationships, you'll see that letting go of the wrong people was one of the best decisions you could have made for yourself. Number 9, be willing to lose people. It's a fact of life. Sometimes you need to be willing to lose people in order to build a life that truly serves you. This idea can be tough to wrap your head around. It can feel uncomfortable, even scary, because letting go of people, especially the ones you've spent so much time with, can stir up a lot of emotions. But here's the truth. If you're not willing to lose people who are holding you back, you'll never have the space to attract the right people who will lift you up. The people you surround yourself with have a profound impact on your life. They influence your mindset, your energy, and even the way you see yourself. If you're constantly in relationships where you're made to feel less than, where people take and never give, or where your dreams are belittled, you're setting yourself up for a life of unfulfilled potential. But when you make the bold decision to let go of those who aren't aligned with your goals, your values, or your future, you open the door to a world of possibilities. It's time to stop clinging to relationships simply because they're familiar or comfortable. Holding on to the wrong people is like carrying dead weight. It prevents you from moving forward, keeps you stuck, and makes you forget how much better life can be. But when you make the hard choice to walk away from those who don't respect you, you free yourself to rise. You make room for those who believe in your potential, those who encourage your dreams, and those who are willing to pour into you just as much as you pour into them. Letting go isn't easy, but it's necessary for growth. The people who no longer serve you might resist your decision to step away, and they might even try to make you feel guilty for it. But you've got to remember, it's not about them, it's about you. It's about your future, your dreams, and your ability to protect your peace. It's about choosing to invest in yourself and surround yourself with the people who will help you become the best version of who you're meant to be. The right people won't hold you back. They'll push you forward. They'll cheer you on when you succeed, support you through challenges, and celebrate your wins as if they were their own. But most importantly, they'll respect you. They'll honor your boundaries, understand your goals, and recognize your worth. These people will not only help you grow, they will grow with you. They'll show you that relationships don't have to be draining or one-sided. They'll prove to you that true friendships and partnerships are built on mutual respect, trust, and support. Choosing to let go is a statement. It's saying that you value yourself enough to step away from anything that threatens your growth. It's saying that your dreams are too important to be surrounded by people who don't believe in them. And while it might feel lonely in the moment, it's important to understand that this solitude is temporary. It's the space you need to become the person who is ready for the people who will truly value you. And when those people show up, you'll see that the loss wasn't a loss at all. It was an opportunity to grow, to rise, and to elevate your life. If you're constantly giving your time and energy to people who drain you, you're not leaving enough room for the people who will pour back into you. It's time to let go of the fear of being alone, because when you finally let go of the wrong people, you make space for the right ones to come in. It's about trusting the process, trusting that when you make the hard decision to remove toxic relationships from your life, something better is always on the way. The reality is that life will test you. It will throw challenges your way, and sometimes the people you've relied on the most will be the ones who disappoint you. But here's the thing. When you let go of these people, you don't lose. You gain clarity, you gain strength, and you gain the ability to choose better. You gain the courage to stand up for yourself, to set boundaries, and to prioritize your own well-being above all else. This isn't just about cutting people out of your life. It's about recognizing that your time, energy, and peace are valuable. And when you realize this, you begin to choose wisely who you allow into your life. You stop allowing people to take advantage of your kindness. You stop settling for relationships that don't serve your highest good. And instead, you begin to attract the kind of people who will add value to your life, encourage your dreams, and walk beside you on your journey. The moment you decide that you're willing to lose people is the moment you start to win. You start to win back your peace. You start to win back your energy. And most importantly, you start to win back your life. It's a life that is no longer held hostage by toxic relationships or people who are unwilling to respect you. And once you experience what it's like to be surrounded by the right people, you'll never go back. You'll never settle for less. You'll know that you're worthy of better, and you'll stop allowing anyone or anything to convince you otherwise. Remember, losing the wrong people isn't a loss, it's a victory. It's a victory because it means you're making room for the people who truly deserve your time, your love, and your energy. It means you're one step closer to the life you were meant to live. And the more you practice the art of letting go, the stronger, wiser, and more empowered you become. So as you move forward, don't be afraid to let go. Don't be afraid to walk away from what no longer serves you. Trust that the right people will come into your life, and they will help you become the person you've always been capable of being. You are worthy of respect, love, and support. And when you allow yourself to let go of what's holding you back, you will attract everything that you deserve. The best is yet to come. Keep going. Stay strong. And remember, your journey is yours alone, and the right people will find you along the way. Number 10, make power moves. Respect isn't something that can be demanded. It's something that's built through consistent actions. It's easy to talk a big game and say all the right things, but when your actions don't line up with your words, people notice. People don't care what you say nearly as much as they care about what you do. Your actions speak louder than your intentions, louder than your promises, and louder than your desires. If you want people to respect you, you have to show them that you respect yourself first, and that you're willing to do the work required to earn that respect. It's not enough to just say, "I want respect." You have to prove you're worth respecting. That means showing up for yourself, being consistent, staying true to your word, and following through, even when it gets tough. The reality is, actions are what set you apart. People notice when you're reliable, when you're disciplined, and when you show up day after day, even when the results don't come instantly. Respect is built in the small daily things. It's not about one grand gesture or one big moment. It's about how you live your life day in and day out. Think about the people you respect the most. What is it about them that earns your admiration? Most likely it's not their words, but their actions. They live with integrity. They do what they say they'll do, and they do it consistently, regardless of the circumstances. They show up, they work hard, and they don't make excuses. They don't just talk about what they want to do, they do it. And when they fall short, they get up and keep going. They don't allow setbacks to define them. They understand that action, not words, is the key to respect. If you want to demand respect, You need to show that you're someone who deserves it. You need to show that you're willing to do whatever it takes, even when it's hard. And it's not just about doing things for yourself. It's about how your actions impact the people around you. When you act with integrity, others will respect you not just because of your words, but because your actions align with your values. They will see that you're a person of character, someone who follows through, someone who doesn't back down when things get tough. That's how respect is built. That's how you earn the right to be respected. Now let's talk about the power of consistency. It's easy to show up when things are going well, when everything is falling into place and the results are coming fast. But the real challenge and the real test of your character comes when things aren't going according to plan. That's when most people give up, throw in the towel, or start making excuses. But the person who is truly worthy of respect doesn't stop just because things get tough. They keep going, even when it feels like no one is watching. They push through the doubt, the fatigue, and the frustration, because they know that consistency is the key to building something solid. Respect isn't built on temporary bursts of energy or fleeting moments of success. It's built through the long game, the daily commitment to doing what needs to be done, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's difficult, and even when it seems like there's no immediate payoff. When people see you put in that kind of effort, when they see you work through adversity and stay committed to your goals, they respect you. They see your character, your grit, and your determination. And that respect becomes something that's deeply rooted, not just in what you do, but in who you are. You can't fake it. You can't just say, "I'm going to do this," and expect respect to follow. The truth is, people can tell when you're all talk and no action. They can sense when you're not fully committed to your own success, and that's when your credibility begins to erode. To truly command respect, you must walk the walk. Your actions must back up your words. And here's the thing, when you begin to show up with integrity, consistency, and authenticity, the respect will naturally follow. It won't be something you have to chase. It will be something people give to you because they recognize that you're someone who's worth respecting. Now let's get real about what respect truly means. It's not just about being admired or liked. It's about being trusted. It's about having people in your corner who believe in you, who know that when you say you're going to do something, you will do it. Respect is the foundation of strong relationships, whether in business, with family, or with friends. People want to be around those who have integrity, who live with honor, and who follow through on their commitments. If you want to build strong, lasting relationships, if you want to attract opportunities and elevate your life, respect is the key that unlocks it all. But remember, this isn't just about gaining respect from others. It's about respecting yourself enough to do the things that will take you to the next level. When you respect yourself, you set higher standards for your life. You don't settle for mediocrity, and you don't let anyone treat you poorly. You protect your time, your energy, and your peace. You show up for yourself, even when no one else is looking. When you respect yourself, you teach others how to treat you. You set boundaries. You make decisions based on your values, not based on what others think. And because you respect yourself, others will begin to do the same. To wrap it up, respect isn't given, it's earned. It's earned through the way you show up for yourself, the way you handle your challenges, and the way you live your life with integrity. People will respect you when they see that you are someone who follows through, who keeps promises, and who does the hard work, even when it's tough. It's built through action, consistent, purposeful action. And when you start showing up in this way, you'll find that the respect you've been searching for comes to you naturally. You won't have to beg for it. You won't have to chase it. It will find you because you've proven that you are someone worth respecting. Keep putting in the work, stay true to your word, and watch the respect you've earned follow you wherever you go.